Honey Bunnies, welcome back. It's me, Jenny. Alright, so I have a very quick and easy way to make either lace or ribbons or even tulle. This is tulle, little flowers like this, okay? I am working on making a few of these little flowers because I am doing a project that I am working on, which I will talk about that later on another video. And so I was doing flowers and I figured, let me show you guys how I do my flowers, right? Why not? So what you're gonna need for this very simple and easy project, okay, because you guys know how I like it simple, easy, and nothing too complicated. You're gonna need some kind of either lace or fabric, or even like ribbon. I would recommend that the ribbon, fabric, or lace is roughly about 2 to 3 inches, just because it forms a better flower when it's a little thicker than normal, okay? Now, very quickly, I have a stash of things here in a basket where when I cut and do little projects and I have little scraps here and there, I just throw them in the basket. Do not, I repeat, do not throw away any of your little tiny scraps. You can use them for future projects like the one I'm doing right now. For example, this little tiny, which you can't probably see because it's tulle, and here, maybe you can see like this better. This little tiny strip right here, I don't throw away, okay? I can use this for upcoming projects. You may say to yourself, well, why would you keep that little tiny thing? Well, I will show you. Same thing with your ribbons. Same thing with your extra fabric. Don't throw them away, because the more of these little strips that you have, the better your flower will look. So if you have these strips already because you have upcoming projects, or you're working on a project and you happen to have little strips, please do not throw them away. Same thing with ribbon. If you cut a little piece of ribbon, don't throw them away. I'm going to show you how you can use those little tiny little bits of fabric and scrap into your adorable flower, okay? Another thing that I wanted to let you guys know, another advice. If you have, like, for example, I had this beautiful vintage blouse that I absolutely love, but it had a stain. I took it to the dryers and the dry cleaners, and they were not able to remove the stain. So what I decided to do is I torn up the shirt apart, and I took the areas that were decent, and I made little strips like this. This is another idea on how you can create flowers out of things that you have at home. You don't have to go to any fancy expensive store and get some pretty material, which there's nothing wrong with that. But if you're starting new, think outside the box. Do things at home first. Get yourself familiar. Get yourself, some practice until you're ready to go out there and do the real thing, okay? So extra skirts, extra shirts that you don't have, that you don't want, that maybe your mom has and still doesn't want, those are also awesome for scraps, okay? So very easy, very simple. You guys know I do not measure anything. So what you're gonna do is, I'm gonna be using this beautiful vintage lace trim that I had for a very long time. I actually collect all these laces and all the trims and all ribbons that are vintage. And so with my upcoming project that I'm starting to do now, I'm starting to take them out and start to use them. So what you're gonna need is roughly just, I would measure eyeball, okay? I'm eyeballing it about 3 inches, okay? I already started cutting out the little strips. As you can see here, I have 3 strips here cut already. So what I do is, to make myself, you know, make it easier for myself, once I cut 1 strip, I just use this as a template to cut the rest of the other strips. Okay, so that's what you're gonna do. You're also going to need some kind of felt to put the flower together. I just, you know, have this regular felt that I bought at Michael's. Just fuzzy cut it, or maybe use your punch out, I don't know, and make a circle, and this is going to be your base of your flower. You can also use paper if you want. I like to use felt because felt is very strong and it adheres very well to the lace. Okay, I also had already cut out little squares using my old vintage shirt, okay, as I showed you guys earlier, just to show you and get you, you know, give you an idea of how we're going to be doing this. My recommendation is also find some kind of button or something to put in the middle of the flower. I have these little box that I just throw like my little scraps in here, and I just happened to find this little pretty adorable pearl button, so I might want to use that, and maybe I'll use this, and oh, here's another pretty pearl button, maybe this one. So one of these I'll use for my centerpiece of my flower. You don't have to use buttons, you can use whatever you have at home. Okay, so let's get started. I already started doing these 3 little petals, and I'm going to show you how I got these petals. Very simple, very easy, guys. Okay, take your strip of your little square of lace, fabric, whatever you have. You're going to meet the corners to each other just like this. You're going to make like a cute little rectangular, I guess it's called, just like this. And then you're going to, in the middle, you're going to move this over to the middle of this right here. Okay, so just to the middle of that, and then you're going to put a little bit of hot glue, which I'm sorry I didn't mention, you're going to need hot glue for this project. A tiny little bit of hot glue right there just to hold that. Be careful you don't get burned. And there goes your petal of flower right there. Okay, I'm gonna do this again one more time. Now, it doesn't have to be perfectly cut unless you're anal about it. I don't really care. This is a shabby chic project. The more imperfections you have, the better the flower looks. Okay, so you don't have to be perfect, but if you want to, you can cut them out, you know, as perfect as you want. Another thing too, depending how you cut them out, it depends on how your flower and dimension is going to be. Obviously, if you cut the strip a little longer, your flower will obviously be a little longer or bigger. Okay, so again, take the corner to corner. And another thing, be careful, because as you can see, this end of the lace doesn't have any trimming, but this ends do. So if you're gonna start basically forming your flower, make sure they all look symmetrical and they all look the same. Okay, so again, corner to corner. Okay, I usually pinch the middle here so I know where to fold it. Okay, and then I'm going to fold it over just like so. Okay, and I'm going to put a little bit of glue right here. I love doing this flower because you don't have to really sew anything. I don't like sewing. I mean, if I have to, I'll do it, but I prefer not to sew. Now, this is my last little strip that I have, so I'm going to obviously cut out a few more from my template, okay, that I created. I'm going to cut out 2 more because I think that's basically what I need. 2 more. These flowers are fantastic to create for your scrapbooking or, you know, for a project that you have. It's just beautiful and very simple and very easy to create. Okay, and again, I'm doing a project that I am going to be talking to you guys shortly about, and I'm very, very excited to start this new chapter in my life. And so I need to do a few of these flowers. So, okay, so again, corner to corner, find the middle, move over, okay? A little bit of glue, not too much. Pinch, pinch. And there you have it. Oops, see, that glue didn't here. Hold on. There we go. It's a corner right there. Pinch, pinch. And there you have it. Okay? And now you have your petals. And now we're going to create our flower. Okay? Let's do one more. Just to make sure we have enough petals. Corner to corner. Now remember to keep it all the same. Pinch the middle here. Move this corner over. And you're going to put a little bit of glue here. Pinch, pinch. And there you have it. Okay. Alright, now let's assemble the flower. How are we going to do that? Very simple. We're going to put a little bit of glue in the little bit of tip of the circle, and we're going to assemble basically the flower. Okay, so here we go. Little bit of glue, one flower. Now decide which way you want to put the flower, okay? I'm going to put my flower this way. Okay. Little bit of glue. I'm going to put my flower this way. Hold it for the second or two. Okay. If you use a craft mat, it's much better, obviously. But for the sake of this video, I'm not using one. So, okay. So, again, a little bit of glue. My petal. And there you have it. Okay, and I need one more petal on this side. A little bit of glue, my petal, and there you have it. Okay, and there you have your almost complete flower. See that? Very pretty, right? Now, if you want to do another layer of the petals, my suggestion is to make the petals a little smaller. So this way, it overlaps from the back, the bigger petals, and you can see the smaller petals. Okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mismatch my flower. I'm going to use this square that I did earlier from my favorite vintage shirt. Okay, and I'm going to create a smaller petal, okay, out of this. Just be careful because this is very hot. How many small petals you need, it really depends on how big your flower is, okay? So that's something that you would have to figure out on your own. Okay, there we go. A little bit of glue down here. Pinch, pinch. And there you have it. Okay, this is a very simple, easy project, guys. I love doing these flowers. They're so beautiful. And they come out so shabby, which is what I love the most about it. And you know what? It doesn't have to be perfect, which is what I love the most too. It's a shabby chic flower. It doesn't have to be perfect. You don't have to think about it twice on how you want the flowers to look. You know, that second guessing yourself kind of really becomes annoying sometimes. So it's very nice to just be free and do a pretty flower without any restrictions on how they should look. Okay, so I have 4 little petals here. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to start assembling my little petals. Okay, now these little petals, obviously, if you can see here, it's kind of fraying, which I don't mind because again, that's the whole thing about this is Shabby Chic, right? And Shabby Chic has a lot of fraying in it, so I don't mind at all. That is very messy. Okay, I'm gonna add a petal roughly right in the middle of this 2 little petals. Okay, and then we're gonna add another petal here. And the greatest thing about this flower is you can build your flower however and how big you want it. Okay, another petal here. Just hold on to that for a few seconds. Be careful that you don't burn yourself like I always do. And one more petal. And I think my flower is basically complete with the petals. Right there. Hold on to that. Oh yeah, see that? There goes my, oh I love, look how pretty this flower came out. I love that contrast, right? So pretty. Alright, so the only thing that I am missing is obviously my centerpiece, right? So I have here some vintage buttons that I want to add. And let's see which one will look more appropriate. I think this one looks nicer. Yeah. I also have a small little doily that I can always put in the middle, just like that, which I think I'm going to do for the sake of the video. Even though the doily is pink, but guess what? Shabby Chic is pink, right? So why not? Right in the middle of the flower. And I'm going to add this pretty, right here, you see that? That pretty little button right in the middle of that, okay? Now, what I would advise for you to do is some of these vintage buttons have the backing like this where you attach your shirts to. Pretty pronounced, they're pretty big. What I like to do is I like to take my pliers and I like to just cut out this little hook that it has in the back, just because I don't want my flower to be so bumpy, okay? And by doing that, it just lays very flat on the surface that you want to place the button on, okay? So what if you want to do that, you can. If you don't, then you don't have to, okay? A little bit of glue to attach my lovely vintage button. Hold that there for a few seconds. Okay, and there you have your very pretty vintage flower, guys. How easy and very, very simple was this tutorial. I love it, okay? So remember, you can create these flowers out of anything that you have. Do not throw away any of your scrap because you will be able to use them for a lot of these flowers. If you wanted to keep adding more little scraps to this flower, you most definitely can. You can add, you know, a little bit of some lace if you want. You can really add anything to the flower and build on the flower. So that's what I'm saying. Don't throw any of these little pieces away. You can always make use out of them, okay? So, alright guys, I hope you guys like this short video that I showed you. Maybe I'll do another video showing you how I create these flowers. I don't know if you guys want to see a video on that, let me know, and I'll try to do that. I also created this flower out of really cute, pretty tulle material, and yeah, and so I just wanted to show you guys how very simple and easy it is to create this flower. Okay guys, so I hope you guys enjoy this video. I hope you guys have fun creating your flowers, and let me know if you have any questions. All right, honey bunnies, have a good day. Bye.